Hello everybody, it's Mr. Menziah here and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed 3. So you know how we normally start this, guys. Let's start off with the positives. I really liked the gameplay in Assassin's Creed 3. When I originally played Assassin's Creed 3, it was very jarring because I was so used to the R1 and square as counter killing, but now it's a bit more complicated for you to do the counter killing, and obviously we have new enemies in the game. I really enjoyed how the combat really was and how the animations and combos are in this game. A lot of the combat in this game is very brutal, which I really liked because Assassin's Creed Revelations was probably the closest when it comes to how brutal the killing is when it comes down to the combat. This one probably takes the cake for me. Assassin's Creed 3 Remaster is actually a light remake. They actually added some new mechanics to the game, where now you'll be able to use an aiming system with the L2 trigger, depending on what console you are on. You'll be able to use the L2 trigger to aim with your pistol, bow and arrow. This is something they never added into Assassin's Creed 3 until Assassin's Creed 4. So they did add some new features. Also, I really liked how they also added new mechanics to the game, such as when you don't synchronize on a tower, when you try to find more items on the map, the bird also looks like it has closed wings, and when you do synchronize it, it has open wings to show that you have synchronized at this viewpoint on the map. I also like what they did to the weapon wheel as well. When you use the weapon wheel, now you'll be able to use any of the weapons that you unlock by simply moving the left analog stick or the right analog stick in certain directions, and you'll be able to choose, let's say you have 4 pistols unlocked. You'll be able to choose any pistol you want at will from the weapon wheel system, which I really did enjoy. And now onto the naval combat. The naval combat, from what I noticed, hasn't changed from Assassin's Creed 3, so forgive me if I said anything wrong there, but to me I haven't noticed anything. But I really did enjoy the naval combat in this game, which was pretty much well known when it came down to the community who reviewed it back in 2012. It was very well received in general. Now onto the negatives. The characters in this game. Right. So, with Assassin's Creed 3, I've always had this issue with the characters compared to the previous installments. After I'd played the Ezio trilogy back in 2011 or prior to that, I had a certain standard for the characters in the Assassin's Creed franchise, especially the people that you went back in time into the Animus with. Like Ezio, he's a very charismatic and charming character, and then you see a guy like Connor, who does what's right, but he's just really miserable and angry. You know, like he's just very quiet, and he doesn't really have much of emotion than attitude. And that's something I just didn't really get behind the character because of. I don't really have anything other than, yeah, you've got this issue and you've got problems when it comes down to your people, but you as a character are just really boring and not really fun to play as. And then we've got the Desmond side of things. Well, you guys already know, this is Assassin's Creed 3. If you guys already played Assassin's Creed 3, you know the Desmond segments aren't really all that good. And they still aren't. But oh, it is one feature that they added. When you do play as Desmond, you'll be able to replay missions now via the laptop in this really weird precursor site. So, if you wanted to replay as Desmond in certain missions, you'll be able to now. I don't really know what to say other than Assassin's Creed 3 in general, story-wise and setting, it's just very mundane and boring. Like, and also something I didn't really enjoy is the homestead missions. Unfortunately, when it comes down to those missions entirely, I think it's a waste of time for very useful items. The homestead missions could be an entire game in itself. That's how many homestead missions there are in Assassin's Creed 3. And you have to do so many for you to get, for example, a dual holster pistol or pistols for your holster. It takes so long just to get that, where you just kind of feel, why am I doing this? Like, what's the point of me doing all of these missions for a holster so I can get an extra gun on my backside? And unfortunately, they didn't do anything when it came down to that change. But just stuff like that, it just kind of makes it boring for the player to enjoy. Like, when I play Assassin's Creed 2, I know people don't like Assassin's Creed 2. I say Assassin's Creed 2 is one of the best. You feel rewarded for your time, and there's just so many rewards after each mission, like money, or doing certain missions you can loot Templar chests, or even get some pretty cool armor. And that is also a thing about this game, is there isn't any armor exactly, it's just outfits. And obviously it makes sense, it would be clothing instead of armor in this setting. But a lot of the clothing in this game isn't really all that cool to look at either. And now on to the actual remastering, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys want to know about. There are scenes in this game where the remaster actually looks kind of worse, and I feel Ubisoft don't understand that just because the game is brighter, it doesn't mean it looks better. For example, with Assassin's Creed 3 on the original version, you would normally see lots of shine or lots of shadow to hide some of the ugly textures in the game, which made sense. Unfortunately here, a lot of the textures are shown quite a bit, and it kind of makes the characters' faces look ugly. And also another thing, a lot of people in this game don't seem to have any eyebrows. I'm not sure if Ubisoft didn't want to add them in, but nobody besides Charles Lee has 3D eyebrows in this game. So that's really it when it comes down to my review for the game. I would say if you guys enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3 anyway, you're gonna enjoy this game, without a doubt. But if you're kind of wondering if you want to try this game out, it's only 30 quid anyway, and you do have a fair bit amount of content in this game. Like, you'll get a pretty good bang for your buck, but as a remaster and a light remake, it's okay. You also get Assassin's Creed Liberation, which isn't great either. I played it on the Vita a few years back, and I just forgot about it really. The game, unfortunately here, is the remaster segments are just not all that good, and the remake parts were a good addition, and that's really it. So it really depends on what your personal taste is for the Assassin's Creed franchise, because I know a lot of people like some games over the other. I would highly recommend you get this game probably at a lower price, or get the Ezio trilogy where you get all 3 games of Ezio, and you also get a pretty good bang for the buck. That's going pretty cheap. Plus the remasters on Assassin's Creed 2 is much better and much more noticeable. My name is Mr. Menziah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you drop a like. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.